Hello, friends. So today it's just me and myself. Next week is going to be super exciting. We're going to have John Levitt. We're going to talk about all kinds of cool things. But today it's just me. I thought I would start by giving everybody just a couple of cool, good updates for things that are going on in the not safe mediaverse generally. So we are currently about to launch our merchandise line, which is really, really exciting. I worked really hard getting all of the designs together for the shirts we're going to be launching. One of them is kind of an anti-Christmas shirt, and the other one is a much more neutral, geometric-looking thing. They're both super stylish. We are having them printed at a local union-run shop. It is East Atlanta. Oh gosh, printing, I think. It's one that we've used before for DSA, and they do great work, and they're good people, and we're excited to work with them. We will be launching on Black Friday our Shopify, and you will be able to, on Friday of next week, place a pre-order, which hopefully we'll be able to get you by Christmas, but it'll depend on like how many orders we get. And in any case, they're really cool looking. You should go to the Not Safe for Wonks Twitter account and just check them out. You can look in our media. It's down there, a couple of posts down, and I think you'll like them. We also are getting ready to launch sometime early next year a new podcast with me and Paul Byron from Critical Bits and Corey Archibald of Brand New Congress about Star Trek, which is really exciting as well. It's not going to just be like a watch-along fan cast kind of thing. We're actually talking specifically about themes within Star Trek and broad political influences on Star Trek and the way that media itself will sort of reciprocally impact culture, and culture impacts media, and sort of back and forth, and how those things interact, and what we can learn from the stories in Star Trek about ourselves, about each other, and sort of about how to be decent people. And I think that's pretty much all of the exciting new updates for that one. Oh, sorry, we will also have Leslie on that as well. She just joined up yesterday, so yay. Other than that, I figured we can do some just broad news. If anybody has any questions they want to ask me specifically, since we're kind of freestyling it today, you are totally invited to just leave a comment and ask me literally whatever. I will do my best to answer it. And otherwise, let's just sort of go through the news. Yeah, let's do like a who has COVID update. Right now, the most recent people are Rick Scott and Andrew Giuliani, both of which are just absolutely predictable and expected because Republicans physically cannot take this seriously until they have it. In particular, I am really tickled that Rick Scott's response to that was, and I quote, "I remind everyone to be careful and to do the right things to protect yourselves and others." And I think that's particularly funny because he sort of conspicuously didn't say what those things are, because in order to do that, he would have to actively say things like, hey, wear a mask, stay home, which are, of course, against the party line for the GOP right now, which is that COVID's not that serious and you can kind of just ignore it and not take it seriously and get everybody around you killed. And I don't know how many Republicans are going to die because they absolutely refuse to acknowledge it. But, hopefully more than one, frankly. It'd be better. Maybe they'll get it in the Senate real bad or something. It'd be like just a freedom for everybody. And that is with Andrew Giuliani in particular. He was like just at a conference the day before he tested positive. So he exposed a shitload of people. And, it's the same thing every time, right? One Republican will go to some very, very big event. None of them are taking it seriously. And the next day, one of them tests positive. And then it's another, 20, 30 people who are just sick and getting other people sick. Also in the news today, people have been talking a lot about whether Donald Trump is going to be indicted after his term is over. And right now, the two big threats to him from New York in particular are Cy Vance and Letitia whose name I have since forgotten. They are both sort of chasing him down. Cy Vance in particular is chasing him down for fraud. Let me see if I can pull this back up. I had it up. Sorry, y'all. Normally I have people to bounce off of, and I can just kind of like, if I missed a thing or forgot a thing, they can cover me. But no, not today. I'm on my own. So New York, in New York City, on Manhattan Island, Cy Vance is currently looking into Trump's businesses. Presumably it is for financial fraud because, you know, that's sort of his MO. And one of the things in particular they're likely to get him on is his taxes. And then also Letitia James is looking into his businesses for artificially inflating his property values. So it's kind of another fraud scheme. The big sort of question behind all of this is, are they actually going to pull the trigger and indict him? And I mean, that's a very hotly contested thing. I think Joe Biden in particular came out and said they should not, but there is a huge amount of popular will that wants them to. So it'll be interesting to see whether they kind of go with the down from above party line of like amnesty for presidents, or if for once we see a president get held accountable. I would really like to see the latter. I don't think it's going to happen though. There's a lot to be said for setting the precedent of indicting a president for one, because then it's like, well, can they just sort of do retributive, petty, you know, indictments of sitting or of recently out of office presidents? Or, you know, oh, hey, we have April. Hi, April. Get in here.
Yo, what's up?
We're talking about whether they are going to actually indict Donald Trump and sort of the things that they have to weigh and consider, right? They have to think about like the precedent of indicting a president, which, you know, could lead to sort of retributive indictments later on, right? Because we know the GOP is petty and they will do literally whatever because they're petty like that.
Absolutely.
And then the other side of that is, of course, this dude's a freaking criminal. And like, if there's going to be even a modicum of justice, he needs to get indicted and at least put through a trial. Like, he needs to at least be held up to public scrutiny once and for all for people to say like, hey, like, you did crimes.
And another thing to consider is that, and while this shouldn't dissuade us from doing it, to about a quarter of the country, this is going to be seen as the completion of like the coup cycle or whatever of the Democrats stole the election and now they're going to imprison Trump and whatever. It's going to piss a lot of fucking people off.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's an important consideration, right? Like, what is Trump's base going to do if he gets indicted? Like, they're already threatening a civil war in Georgia right now. Or not right now, but like this week, there was a large group of armed fascists who entered the Capitol building to protest with guns, with lots of guns, which, to be clear, is not actually legal. But the cops, of course, did nothing about this. But that happened this week, and it was about Trump losing in Georgia, and it was about Georgia flipping and their just irrational rage that other people might think they're wrong. Like,
Exactly. And
so I don't know. It's, you know, it's going to be kind of a powder keg here. I think probably for the foreseeable future still. You know, I don't think that having Trump out of office is going to fix this problem. I don't think having Biden in office is going to fix this problem. You know, we have a lot of work to do as an entire country before we are going to be able to get back to some semblance of stability and security.
Yeah, absolutely. And while I don't believe for a second that we are, you know, a month or even a few months away from a civil war, this is still a very, very polarized part of the era in our country's history.
Yeah.
And it's not going to take mealy-mouthed centrism and austerity policies to get us out of it.
No, and I think actually, I don't think we're looking at a civil war, but I do think we can realistically expect to see more terrorist violence by the right, We expect to see just generally more tension. I would expect to see the police becoming more violent as an extension of the right, becoming, more testy and violent. And of course, when the police become violent, it is not towards the fascists. It is always towards the leftists. So we can expect that the police will be attacking us in particular when we inevitably are protesting. And I mean, it's going to be, it's going to be a long road.
Yeah, I've said it before, but the worst case scenario probably for us would be something akin to the Italian years of lead, which would be years of increased political terrorism by both sides.
I could see that. I could see something kind of like the Troubles as well, honestly. I could see, sort of sectarian violence happening because of this, boiling over to the point where in some areas it's a little closer to open warfare. I mean, over the summer, like, people who were at protests will tell you unequivocally it was closer to war than anything else. It was not like a calm, peaceful thing. People were being absolutely brutalized.
And the dangerous thing is that Trump circles haven't even begun to process that he lost. They still think that he won. So we're not even seeing the fallout in Trump circles of what they're going to do when it sets in that Biden is going to be the next president, and there's not going to be some sort of grand overturning of 3 or 4 states, their electoral counts.
Yeah.
So we're not even at the stage where we can begin to see the shadows of what Trump groups are going to do going forward.
Yeah, right. Well, and the fact that they still think that they're going to win by recounts is like, ooh, boy.
Yeah, didn't Georgia just do a recount and is about to certify Biden winning?
Yes, and he won. He did. It just happened. Like, the people in Georgia, the progressives in Georgia and the Democrats in Georgia have been, for the last, 10 straight years, really, really aggressively trying to get people registered to vote, to the polls, voting, participating, right? Because, I mean, it's kind of a one-to-one, right? Like, when more people show up to the polls, it tends to swing to the left, because generally speaking, people don't like the way Republicans treat them. Like, most people do not like the way Republicans are. And then there's, this tiny religious minority in our country that just is holding all of us hostage because they have been trained since birth to think that, their place in the world is as a, smiting, vengeful God. And that's just sort of their default way of interacting with everybody.
Yeah, it's not a good situation.
No. I mean, and we've talked about this before. We'll talk about it again, I'm sure. I think the best thing we can possibly be doing about that is just actively going into our communities and organizing. Like, there is absolutely no way to get this fixed by being on the internet. Like, this is not the right place for it. The best thing we can possibly do is just get out, hit the pavement, figure out what problems exist in our community and work on fixing them with the people in our community. And that includes, Republicans in the community, because we have to figure out how to talk to each other again, or there will be a war,
Yeah, absolutely.
And let's see, another news today. Today is the Trans Day of Remembrance, which I think is, always worth sort of formally observing. Obviously, we're a very trans podcast and a very queer podcast.
Yeah.
I think a lot and often, actually, about Scout was a person at Georgia Tech who was killed by the police a couple years back. And it was this giant trauma for the community. And functionally, it was kind of a suicide by cop, but it was also police brutality. And every single year, on the Trans Day of Remembrance, everybody in the community kind of brings up Scout in particular. And, this really tragic occurrence where this person, ultimately committed suicide because they were trans. And, there is so much abuse and trauma leveled at trans people that is really common, actually.
The very fact that trans people are more likely to commit suicide is weaponized against them as some sort of personal failing, and not the indication of inherently transphobic society, which is something.
Yeah, I don't really know. I don't know. it's kind of like for the last, 4 years, everybody's needs kind of just got pushed to the side,
Yeah.
And it was like whatever has been going on in any marginalized group's lives have been just sort of drowned under the ocean of tears liberals have been crying about Donald Trump being in office. And if there is like a silver lining to Joe Biden being president, it's going to be that maybe we can get them to talk to us about anything else, But I don't know. I mean, alternatively, we could just end up relitigating 2016 until we're dead and nothing ever gets better. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
but I don't like to think that,
There's something of a sliver of a hope that I will be slightly more secured in my rights than I was before. So
yeah, it's like, you've moved your hand from completely in the fire to immediately next to the fire. So you're still like getting burnt, but maybe slightly less badly.
Yeah, Joe Biden was never and is never going to like fix transphobia or anything else. But maybe I don't even know. Just maybe things will get a little bit better.
Maybe. So what's new with you, Leia? Or April?
Not much really. My birthday is in 2 days, and I'm turning 19, which is
incredible.
Very weird.
The oldest age there is.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna stop there. Like being 20 outwards, I don't know about that. I think I'm just gonna. I'm comfortable.
Do it. Follow your dreams. Be 19 forever. Why not?
Yeah, but apart from that, things have been going pretty good. Still kind of stable out here in Montana. I'm gonna start looking for some work at the end of the holiday season, because what I don't want is shitty seasonal work that dries up right as soon as Christmas happens, like in an Amazon fulfillment center or something. So I'm just I got enough money to wait it out anyways. But other than that, just not much. I've been taking a deserved break from much of the worst stuff. What about you, Rachel?
Well, I was talking about this at the beginning of the episode, but I've got a couple of cool things going. We are about to launch the merch that I designed, and I'm really excited to see that hit.
Oh yeah, the market. Is fantastic.
I'm so excited. You know what? While we're here, I'm going to pull this up, and I'm just going to show people because it's really quite good and very exciting, and I'm really excited to share it. And so I'm gonna.
It's fantastic, and I loved it when you showed it to us.
Yeah. Photos. Boom. Okay. Let's share this glorious ish. Do.
And
boom. Look at that beautiful.
There's also been a few other ideas for merch that we've been kicking around and trying to get done. So this is not the end, folks.
Yeah. We're thinking about setting these. They're going to be between $20 and $25, depending on like how we handle shipping stuff and how much we are trying to make money off of them. Proceeds from these, if people care to know, will be going towards paying for sound editors. Because right now we're in this really shitty situation where we need more sound editors, but we can't pay sound editors, and like you can't just like ask somebody like, hey, work for exposure, because we're not those people.
And we already did that with Ren.
Yes, and Ren does get paid first, to be clear. Right. But it would be nice if we could like pay some other people for the work that they're doing for the podcast, and start kind of compensating the people who are doing the work, which is sort of the goal, right? We're trying to get to the point where we can start building cooler and bigger and better things.
Exactly. It appears Rachel has accidentally left the stream, and there she is.
Everything is great. Everything is so great and good. All right, and I will show y'all. So that's like our Christmas themed one. I'll zoom in on it so you can see it. It is deep fried as fuck.
I love that. I still am so much in love with that.
Yes.
I remember you went to the printer and they said, this is going to look pixelated.
Yeah, they're like, this is gonna look really pixelated because you blew the picture up. Like, can you send it to us full size? And I was like, no, you don't understand. And I had to like explain to the printer, like, no, all of those actually started out pristine and then I ruined them. Like, I made them look that way on purpose. Which,
Yeah.
how do you explain that to a person, right? She was befuddled, I think.
Yeah,
And
but
then
it's a good shirt.
it is a good shirt. And this is the other shirt we have, which is a lot, less explicitly Christmassy. It's more sort of season independent. This one actually, in spite of perhaps looking simpler, took me way, way longer because, you have to like balance every single little tiny line and make sure none of them look weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've done some Illustrator work, and it's a lot to take into account.
Mm-hmm. It was like, you have to think about, and like, we don't talk about this a lot, but let's talk about design because design is cool. You're going to have to think about how like all of the lines work together, and you don't want to have like weird things crossing each other. And it's like the difference between like a professional design and an amateur design is whether a person sits there and compulsively just like looks at the spot right here where the two lines intersect at the edge of the eye, and make sure that they intersect just right by just barely tweaking the location of the eye forever.
Yeah, so, but I think you did a fantastic job putting it all together. I think people are going to be
I'm really excited.
Happy to get it.
Yeah, we have some friends of the show. We're handing out some freebies to friends of the show. We'll probably do like some kind of drawing or something and hand out some freebies to our listeners and fans and, stream watchers. So keep an eye out for all of that. It's going to come on Black Friday. We're going to give you the incredible discount of pretending we were going to charge $1,000 and only charging you $25 instead.
The JCPenney model.
Yes, the JCPenney model. So yeah, we're going to do our best. If you like for real cannot afford one of the shirts and super, super want one, but like don't do this unless you can actually not afford it and really super want one, because we do need the money and we will be giving money away if we give you a shirt. But if you seriously can't afford one and you would really like one, send us a message. We can probably give you that, hopefully. And also, yes, Bob Dolman, hello. I don't know who you are, but I will interact with you because it's that kind of episode. Yes, so that is what we call irony. That is part of the joke, is the fact that we are selling a thing that says capitalism is cringe in a capitalist system. We're in on it. We know. It's the same reason that the Christmas shirt, the most commercial holiday in human history probably, is also saying capitalism is cringe, because we do irony here.
Thank you for getting in on the joke. You're a real smart cookie.
So yeah, that's basically all I got. Next week's going to be a lot more fun. Today is just sort of a figure it out on the fly day, which, those are never really the best episodes. And I'm not going to drag people through like watching this forever, but we checked in, we said hello.
Yeah.
We let everybody know.
Got our clocks in.
Yeah, it's a live program. We are becoming professionals, but we were all amateurs when we started, and sometimes stuff happens. So we're figuring it out. We did not have the advantages of being sort of grandfathered in to existing media networks and existing media apparatuses. I don't know, whichever.
I don't know.
So we're building it ourselves on the fly, and we're so grateful for everybody who is coming with us on this journey, who has helped us along the way, for the people who watch the show, for the people who listen to the podcasts, for the people who occasionally send us like really sweet messages. Thank you. Those are so cool. Those are always the coolest to receive. And we really appreciate you. We really love you. If you are,
it's wonderful doing this.
Yeah. If you would like to support us in ways other than just buying a shirt, you can become a patron by going to patreon.com/notsafe. If you would like to sort of passively help us generate money, you can subscribe to us on YouTube and watch our videos there instead of here. Because most of the places we stream to, we don't get paid for, but YouTube, we can. and we would like to get paid for that. So, you know, if it's
cool
all
to
the
have more
same
money.
to you, yeah. If it is all the same to you, go check us out at youtube.com/notsafemedia and subscribe. If you're already on YouTube, thanks. We appreciate you. Like and subscribe. You know, give us all of the interactions so that they will, you know, take us seriously and boost us in the algorithms and all of that stuff. And let's see. Oh, last order of business. If you are one of the people who is watching from my Facebook, like, private profile, let it be known I am locking that down. I will very soon no longer be streaming to that at all, and it will be on my page, which is facebook.com/reachrachelcon, just like, you know, right there. And yeah, do that. Go there. Subscribe there. Follow me there. Stop sending me messages. Men, stop sending me messages.
Stop emailing my co-host.
Yeah, I'm not going to have sex with you. Like, it's not going to happen. I know you would really like it to happen. It's not going to happen. And if it is going to happen, it's definitely not going to happen because you cold called me in a Facebook message. So, like, you know, just don't. That's it.
And anyways, I think we're good.
Yeah, that's all I got. Yeah. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Yeah.
Next time we see you, it will be Black Friday, and we will be launching shirts, and we'll probably be doing a bunch of goofy, silly stuff. We'll be kind of partying a bit, I assume, because it'll be, you know, Black Friday, which is, of course, the capitalist anti-holiday. So I'm sure we'll have all kinds of fun things to talk about there. And again, we will have John Levitt, fabulous friend of the show, to talk about polls and how much we can trust polls and how much we can't actually trust polls, about sort of the problems with the Democratic Party's strategy and the way that they're looking at data, and, you know, what we can actually do to drag Democrats to the left, kicking and screaming, which they will be. All right.
Yeah. See you around.
Bye, everybody.